Hello, Alyssa here, and welcome. I am so glad you are here and open to giving breathwork a go. Before we breathe together, I wanted to give you a quick heads up on just what to expect during a session and exactly how to do the breathing the technique. That way, you'll feel confident and ready when we begin. The class itself is broken into two parts. Part one is the active breathing portion, and the second part is our rest and receive portion. The first part of class is going to be the longer part and is going to take about 2/3 of our time together. And then the second part is going to be about a third of the time together. The entire time, there is a playlist that I have carefully curated for this session together. And the intensity of the music itself is going to change throughout the class. So in the first part of the class, it's going to be more energetic and more energized. We're going to start off really slow and it's gradually going to build. You're going to be doing a specific breathing pattern, and I'm going to demonstrate that more here in just a moment. But it's where you're doing more of the work in the breath work. The second part is like I said, it's a rest and receive portion of the class. So it's a lot less intentional. It's more rest. You're not going to have to be working as hard, and you're just going to be breathing in and out through your nose. It's calm, it's quiet, it's so deeply nourishing. And other than one specific part of the class that I'm going to tell you about in just a moment in the active portion, this is my favorite part of the class. So during the active portion, we're going to use a two-part breath, and all of this breathing is going to be in and out through our mouth. And like I had mentioned before, the music is gradually going to build in intensity over time. You're going to start really slow, and then it's going to gradually build. So when you're breathing, and I'll demonstrate this more specifically in just a moment, you're actually going to be breathing. It's a two-part or a three-part rather breath itself, but two in and one out. And you're first going to be breathing deep into your belly. So it's belly, chest, exhale. And during, again, this is all the active breathing portion of the class. At one moment, about 3/4 of the way through our entire class, I'm going to invite you to let out a big primal scream. This is a powerful moment to just let everything out. I'm going to invite you along the way for the entire class to let out any emotions, to move your body if your body needs to move. Like, you know exactly what it is that you need. But in this specific moment, you will be invited to let out emotion, stress, noise, express, really get it all out. It can be wildly freeing, and I'm going to support you along the entire way. And then after their primal scream song, generally there's another one final active breathing song, and then we'll wind things down and shift into that rest and receive portion. And during this portion, you're going to breathe normally in and out through your nose and just simply receive. And this is often where the deepest integration and insights occur and happen. Okay, so for this next part, I'm going to show you how exactly to go ahead and do the breath. Now, when you're doing this, you are actually going to be lying down flat on the floor. Don't mind the chair, but you're going to be laying flat on the floor. You are going to be in loose fit, comfy clothing. I'm really just wearing this to demonstrate and so that you can see exactly what we're doing. But you're going to be laying down, your knees about hip distance apart. You can have them up like this. You can stretch them down. It's really whatever is most comfortable to you. If you have your knees up, you're more than welcome to have a pillow underneath your knees. I do not suggest having a pillow or anything behind your head because you want to have as open of an airway as possible. And so what you're going to do for the active breathing portion of the class is, let's say I'm laying down like this, and I'm going to breathe into my belly and then into my chest, and then I'm going to exhale. It's just you can close your eyes. It's not a super forceful, so it's not, we're just allowing, just inviting the breath in. It's a very gentle, you're being with it. Belly, chest, exhale. And it's also not a super long drawn out thing. So it's not belly, chest, exhale, like forever. You'll get into a rhythm as you go. And it's totally normal for it to take a couple songs as you like really get into it. But again, belly, chest, exhale. And I'm going to stand back up so you can see this a little bit closer. But again, you're going to be lying down, but you'll actually belly, chest, exhale, belly, chest, exhale, squat down. All of this, again, breathing in and out through the mouth. So first part of the class, in and out through your mouth. And I'm going to guide you along the way. So as the music is playing, you'll get those cues, belly, chest, exhale. I'll do that to start. Throughout the entire time, I want you to really trust your body and meet yourself where you're at. Regardless of if this is your first class or your 100th class, your body is going to show up and have different needs in the moment. And regardless of the topic or whatever it is that we're covering in our session, it's going to meet you exactly where you are. You may think and have an intention to come to class needing one specific thing. Maybe it's to release and really let go, but that might be the class where you get a bunch of ideas and a bunch of stuff comes in for you. So I just encourage you to show up and don't have any expectations. I know easier said than done, but just be open and present with yourself in the moment. That is often the hardest thing, is just showing up for ourselves. And I really, really hope this practice supports you. Okay, so as we go, you can adjust and move your body however you need to. I know for me, I have classes where I am not moving at all and I am just frozen still. I'm not necessarily even expressing or like moving around, like I'm just in it and my body's doing the work. Oftentimes I will bend my knees and then I'll relax them. It's definitely also helpful to have just some extra layers around you, whether that's extra blankets or starting with socks on and you can take them off, because the temperature can change as you move through the class. All perfectly normal and perfectly okay. As we go through the class, a reminder, the music is going to gradually build. I am going to encourage you to speed up the intensity, but never in a way that you're pushing or forcing. Trust that you know what you need best in any given moment. And know that you are in complete control the entire time. If you ever feel like things are just way, way too much, you can stop. You can stop immediately. You can return to just breathing in and out through your nose. But I do invite you to really give it a try and go for it. But especially if this is one of your first classes, entirely encourage you to start as slow as you need to. Let your body lead you. If your throat gets dry throughout the class, just know that that is completely normal. Keep breathing in. You can breathe in through your nose. You can go get a sip of water really quickly and just come back whenever you're ready. The biggest thing I want you to know is that you are in complete and total control. This is not about forcing. We do enough of that in our day-to-day. It's about feeling and really allowing your body to move through whatever it needs to move through. If you are somebody that is familiar with somatic movement and somatic exercises even, those may inherently naturally work their way into your session. Totally encourage you to do that. But it's also not something that you need to put pressure on yourself to do in any stretch or yeah. So two keys to really deepen your experience. So two things that are really going to help you drop in the entire time. Just really put your focus and attention on the deep belly breath. This is your anchor through your entire session. It's a 1, 2, 3. And just stay open and present to whatever is going to come up. There may be specific emotions. You may have sensations in different parts of your body that you haven't experienced before or often. There may be resistance and tightness and clenching. It's all normal. It's all okay. You may even feel softer in parts of your body, and just know that that is all welcome and it's all completely normal. The breath is going to move a lot of energy and it can stir things up. You are creating for yourself a completely open and safe space for healing, for clarity, and for expression. Just let it, just allow it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to you're going to be so in your body that hopefully that's not what's coming up. But after the session, just know that you don't have to be able to even put words into what the experience was. Just stay with the breath the entire time. You're staying with your body and just in total and complete trust for what's unfolding. Common sensations. So I want to just give you a heads up too, some very specific common sensations that honestly, they can feel a little scary if you're not aware of this is something that can come up, but just know that it's all normal. It's all safe. You're in complete control the entire time, as we've talked about. More specifically, this is how it can show up. And if you're experiencing something that's outside of this list, it's also completely normal. But here's more specifically what can be really common in terms of what I've heard and what I have also experienced. In the beginning part of the class, you may experience a lot of what I call monkey mind. You're going to be wondering, am I doing this right? You may be worried about the sounds that you're making. Just stay with your breath and the mind is going to settle. You're going to be in your body after a couple of songs. A lot of times I'll also remind you and just encourage you to stick with it. You may also experience some lightheadedness. You are ultimately breathing in more oxygen than you normally do. It's completely expected. You're lying down and you are in a completely safe environment. Tingling. You may feel tingling all over your body, in your hands, in your arms. You may feel it in your neck or in specific spots on your face. I know I really feel it a lot in my face and my arms and my hands. That is just all energy and oxygen moving through your body. You may also experience face or hand tension. Your hands may curl up and tighten. We call them lobster claws. Your lips and your jaw may feel especially tight. If needed, I encourage you to breathe through it, but you can also just try to massage your hands or just slow down the breath if it's too intense at any moment. And if you do have the lobster claws, I wouldn't put any pressure or force around things being a particular way. It's just know that they may cramp up, and that's perfectly fine and okay. And you can just kind of gradually wiggle them if you need to bring some more awareness back into the room and back into your body in any given moment. Heavy body. So you may feel like you are stuck to the surface beneath you. That actually is a really good sign, and it means that you are deeply in it and just rooted and grounded in exactly where you are. And it'll shift and will gradually and slowly come out of the breath as we, of course, end our session. Temperature changes, we touched on this. You may get hot, you may get sweaty, your feet may get cold, you may feel cold. So just having some extra layers and stuff nearby can be really supportive and really helpful. Throughout the class too, you may feel like you need to move or shake. You may need to twitch and really let it out. That for me is a huge way that I express. And expression doesn't just have to be through your voice. It can be through moving your arms, flailing them, letting them up, kicking your legs, whatever it is that you need to do, just trust that it's exactly what your body needs in any given moment. At the end of the day, if anything becomes too uncomfortable, just slow your breath down. And it's really just taking your foot off the gas for a moment and allowing you to come back to it. Something else that may happen, and especially depending on where you are with your sleep and how tired you are, you may fall asleep in the middle of class, and that is perfectly fine. You'll know when you need to arise and come back into the room. Don't make it mean anything. It's exactly what your body needed in that specific moment and is perfect. So, some final words before we begin. Just know, most of all, above all else, this space is for you. Let your breath lead you home to yourself. Let your body speak in its own language. Let the experience be exactly what it is. There's no goal. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There's no right or wrong feelings. There's just you in this moment and this breath. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to breathe with you.